Okay, this is a reaction video. This is from Henry Talks Football. It's been a while since I've done a video of him. Please click like, share, and subscribe for him as well as for me. I would appreciate it. RODRYGO, BOMBA, EZE, SNUBS, Spurs for Arsenal. This is a disgrace. Well, Henry, as you know, is a Spurs fan, a fan of Tottenham. I am an Arsenal fan, so he and I are definitely disagree on favorite clubs, and not just disagree. We are probably arch enemies. But EZE plays for Crystal Palace. Scored the goal, I think, that led them to the FA Cup. But let's see what Henry has to say about this, because I believe he's going to snub Spurs for Arsenal, and that's not going to be very good for Henry.
We need to talk about Eberechi Eze, and we need to speak about the possibility of Arsenal stealing the signing away from Tottenham.
Well, let's just be clear, okay? They're not actually stealing the signing. It's not like, if you look, you're not a member of a team until you sign on the line which is dotted. So even though Spurs may be going for Eze, that doesn't necessarily make him a Spurs player, okay? And Arsenal has every right to approach Crystal Palace about signing him if they want him. So,
has Eze snubbed a move to Tottenham to join Arsenal? I'm not going to lie, this is really going to piss me off. A player that I've wanted at Tottenham for a number of years. A player that is part of the same agency as our manager and most of our players. A player who's been given a box for him and his family every single time Tottenham play Crystal Palace. A player that would fit our system to an absolute T, who can heavily rotate in the 10 with James Maddison. If not, probably start week in, week out in the 10 for Tottenham. Could all of that potentially not happen now? Because Arsenal are interested in the £68 million attacking midfielder. This would really hurt. I'm not going to lie, this would be painful.
It would be painful to Tottenham. I could see Eze playing for Spurs. I really could. But I could also see him playing for Arsenal as well. So, yes, I look from Henry's perspective, it would be one thing if he, went to PSG or went to Lyon or went to Bayer Leverkusen or somebody like that. That's we tried, we couldn't get it. But for him to go to Arsenal, that would really tick him off. Can't really say I blame him.
A player that I've wanted for nearly 3 years. Just delivered Crystal Palace their first ever major trophy. About to be 27 years of age on Sunday, coming into his prime years as a footballer. Come through Arsenal's ranks, joined Fulham, played at Reading, played at QPR, played at Wickham, finally joined from QPR to Crystal Palace. We need to break it all down. Make sure you go down, smash the absolute granny out of the like button. If you haven't already, let me know your thoughts down below.
Yeah, click like and share, subscribe for him as well as for me. I would appreciate it.
We are 1,600 subscribers away, guys, from 60,000. If you haven't already, yes, you watching right now, please go down, smash the granny out of that subscribe button, and let me know your thoughts. 90% of you watch the content on a daily and weekly basis are not subscribed. Now, Eberechi Eze, let's talk about him and let's talk about Victor Gyökeres. Eberechi Eze, we'll start off with the Tottenham news. Eberechi Eze is interested in the move to Tottenham, who have made him our major transfer target. He's one of the best attacking midfielders in the Premier League, a guy that turns up in the big occasion, scoring the winner and getting man of the match on the FA Cup final against Manchester City. He's an absolute gem. He really is. Paul O'Keefe, a very reliable Tottenham ITK, has come out and said that Tottenham would be willing to pay the £60 million or £68 million release clause in 3 different
Well, yeah, Daniel Levy's going to try the cheapest way possible. He's not going to pay it all in one fell swoop. He's going to pay it in 3 installments. That's let's see, 68 divided by 3. Let me just do a quick. Hold on. $22.66 million, something like that. $22 million basically is what he wants to pay.
Transfer installments. The last word on Spurs have said Eberechi Eze is understood to prefer a move to Tottenham over Premier League champions Liverpool. Well, let's be honest, he's not going to start at Liverpool because they've just brought in Florian Wirtz. The player who's born in Greenwich, London, is keen to move to Spurs, who are understood to be intensifying their pursuit of Crystal Palace.
That's all good and well, but until he puts his signature on the line, which is dotted, that's irrelevant.
There is absolutely no shock that Eberechi Eze is on Tottenham's radar and been on Tottenham's radar for a number of years. He's part of, like I said, CAA Base Limited, which is the agency that Tottenham use for pretty much all of their players. If you go on to transfermarket.co.uk and you click on CAA Base, it'll bring up the agency and you can see which players they have on their agency. Now, as you can see, they've got Cole Palmer, they've got Eze, they've got Bremer, they've also got Maddison, Pedro Porro, Papa Matasar, Heung-min Son, Richarlison, Jed Spence, and that is just a number of Ange Postecoglou, Matt Wells. Predominantly a lot of the Tottenham hierarchy have been part of this agency. He is also part of that. He has around 1 year, he has 2 years left on his contract. It expires June 30th, 2027. His last contract extension was on the 10th of November, 2023. He just had his best ever season
he was outstanding, especially in the FA Cup. And they led Crystal Palace to their first FA Cup. Was a fantastic player.
As a pro, had a really, really strong season with 25 GA in 43 games. His record in the Cups was absolutely magnificent with 5 GA and 5 in the FA Cup, including scoring the winning goal. 4 GA and 4 in the League Cup, 16 GA and 34 in the Premier League. His numbers in a Crystal Palace shirt are absolutely remarkable. However, there's a certain club from North London,
Arsenal, that's who he's talking about,
that isn't Tottenham, that are interested in him. And according to reports, a lot of people have said that they have agreed personal terms with Arsenal. Yeah,
that's what I read too. Again, that they need to pay the money to Crystal Palace before they can actually take hold of the player. But I could see where Henry is upset about this. I could see where that would tick him off.
I swear to God, if Eberechi Eze becomes an Arsenal player, I will lose I'll completely lose it. I will completely lose it.
I don't know if he's gonna say anything, but it would almost it's not like, say, Sol Campbell. It's like Sol Campbell, when he left Tottenham, he left as a free agent. He could sign wherever he wanted to. Okay, and he signed with Arsenal. This is a player who was linked with Tottenham, said he wanted to, basically, Tottenham was but then Arsenal comes sniffing around and he goes to Arsenal. That would really, really, it would tick me off. Like, for example, if Luis Skeles, who just signed an extension to Arsenal, basically let his contract and then joined Tottenham. That would really tick me off. But yeah.
Ben Jacobs is one of the most credible sources when it comes to transfer news, views and clues. Said yesterday at 5:18 p.m, Arsenal have added Eberechi Eze to the list of left-wing options. A £68 million release clause can be paid in instalments. Spurs are also keen. They're also alert to RODRYGO's situation, who did not play again last night.
No, he did play. He came in the second half, 68th minute.
I think Rodrigo's going to leave. I don't think Eberechi Eze will be an Arsenal player. But let's just call it for what it is. Is he going to join Arsenal? Or is he going to join Spurs? Arsenal got a lot higher chance of winning silverware next year. There are a lot more chance of winning the Premier League next year. Does he start over Martin Odegaard at this moment in time? Probably. Is he good enough to play on the left wing week in, week out? Probably. I think they need more of a winger or an inside forward, someone like Rodrigo. But Eberechi Eze would do an absolutely fantastic job for...
Look, Eberechi Eze is probably a more realistic target for Arsenal than Rodrygo. Okay? I do not see Rodrygo joining Arsenal. It's even the situation considering at Real Madrid. I do not see that happening. But we will see.
Or do an absolutely fantastic job off the left. You know, I'm not going to lie. It would really, really piss me off. A number of sources have said they've agreed personal terms. Team News and Tix, who's an Arsenal ITK, who's got over 200,000 followers, has said the following: that Arsenal will now have an agreement in personal terms with Eberechi Eze. Crystal Palace will take their 3 instalments in £20 million with £8 million in add-ons. However, with the way Andrea Berta operates, it could just be a backup plan for a number one target on the left wing. I think it's a backup plan if they don't get Rodrigo.
Again, I think Eze would be a more realistic player for Arsenal than Rodrygo. But obviously, if Rodrygo is available and you're willing to pay it, then you take Rodrygo and you can let Eze go to Spurs. You can have him.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, this would piss me off. Alex Crook has also said Arsenal have added Eberechi Eze to their list of left-wing targets. His release clause is £68 million. Rodrigo remains in interest, but Eze is a much cheaper option. It's not really that much cheaper. Rodrigo's 80 million. Eze 68 million. Is it a £12 million difference that's worth justifying? In this market, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, for me, I think that'd be a fantastic piece of business for Arsenal or Spurs to get Eberechi Eze. I do think they will go for Rodrigo. But yeah,
look, if Rodrygo is available, you go after him. Okay, that makes perfect sense for Arsenal to go after Rodrygo. Okay, Rodrygo's younger, he's more dynamic, he's overall a better player than Eze. Not by much, but better. But again, I'm not so sure Real Madrid is going to want to get rid of Rodrygo.
Yeah, it's a very, very interesting situation right now with regards to Eze. People are saying he's agreed terms. People are saying he wants to move. Tottenham agreed personal terms with Eberechi Eze about 18 months ago, but for whatever reason, it looks like we are, as it stands, just taking our time with it. Now, Fabrizio Romano has said, get ready, Arsenal fans. It's been a busy summer already. And he goes on to say, but the best is yet to come because Arsenal want to do way more. And that's coming out from the podcast, Here We Go. Look, with the whole saga with regards to the Arsenal striker situation, I am still standing by my gut instinct that I personally believe the striker will still be Benjamin Sesko. Credible sources like Sammy Mockbell, Ben Jacobs, Florian Plettenberg all seem to think it will be Benjamin Sesko. Fabrizio Romano has stayed very open about the whole situation with Victor Gyökeres, telling the sporting hierarchy that he would prefer a move to Arsenal over Manchester United. You've also got Liverpool have now put their name in the hat for Victor Gyökeres if they can't get an Alexander Isak situation over the line.
Yeah, I mean, Gyökeres is probably the better option, but I think Arsenal's going to try for Sesko because he's younger, and again, that's who the manager of Arsenal wants. That's who. What's his name? That's who. God, I'm so terrible with names. I'm so sorry. That's who Mikel Arteta wants, and he wants Sesko for whatever reason. I don't know why he wants Sesko over Yorkes, but I think that, but we'll see.
It's going to be absolutely fascinating when you look at the current situation for the striker market. You know, you've also got Hugo Ekitike, who's out there wanted by Chelsea and Liverpool. My gut feeling right now is that Benjamin Sesko will be an Arsenal player. They will go for Rodrygo. My gut feeling is Liverpool will sign Hugo Ekitike or Alexander Isak. Gyökeres may end up at Manchester United or even Barcelona.
I don't see him. Well, look, Manchester United needs to get rid of some players. They need to get rid of Sancho. They need to get rid of Rashford. They need to get rid of a number of players before they can even think about getting Yorkes. And Yorkes is not going to be easy to get rid of for Sporting, because Sporting does not want to get rid of him.
You got to think Robert Lewandowski now is the other side of 30 and slowly on the decline. But it's going to be a very, very interesting few weeks coming up in the transfer market. Not only that, the Club World Cup last 16 games are tomorrow, where Chelsea will be playing Benfica, Palmeiras will be playing Botafogo, an all-Brazilian clash. And then on Sunday, I think you've got
Inter Miami takes on PSG,
Inter Miami, Flamengo, Bayern Munich.
Yeah, you got the Club World Cup is in the knockout phases, which is pretty good, which is interesting.
Monday, Inter versus Fluminense. Tuesday, Real Madrid, Juventus, and Manchester City versus Al Hilal. The Club World Cup, the last 16 is going to be fully underway. Let us know your thoughts. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you next time.
Yeah, please. Please click like, share, and subscribe for Henry Talks Football as well as for me. I would appreciate it. Have a good rest of your day, and thanks for watching.